Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about the Kairi deck that I brought for Bushiroad Springfest Sydney. I went 8-1 with this Kairi deck, and big shout outs to Jesse Fang for lending me this very high rarity Kairi deck. Absolutely amazing art throughout this whole deck, and then I think I got a lot of people commenting on this deck throughout the day, so big shout outs to him, and also to his team who took first place in BSF Sydney for V Premium along with Carmelo and Fu. And then also big shout outs to my awesome teammates Toby and Simon who played Magnolia and Prism respectively for day one, and also to all the WCC guys, Mark, Kai, Kelvin, Darcy, Jasper, for making Sydney an absolutely amazing experience. So yeah, we'll just get through this deck profile again. If you guys have any intentions on getting better at Vanguard, or if you guys need any coaching session for the next BRO and BCS season, feel free to hit me up on metafy.gg/@Derek-Dow. I'll be able to help you improve your game and get your game to the next level. Alright, so starting off, we have the ride line. This absolutely beautiful ride line. LSP, is it? Yeah, LSP. Yeah, nothing more to say there. It's the Kairi ride line. You need it for Laploom, which is a grade 1, allowing you to call a grade 2 or less assist. So you definitely need to run this ride line, and yeah, with the art, why would you not run it, right? So yeah, that's the ride line there. And then for the grade 4s, I run 4 Kairi. Yeah, there's nothing really more to say here. Kairi is just an incredible card. Free multi-attack, free power just by on place, and just an amazing card, amazing artwork as well. Yeah, this is pretty much the core of the deck. And yeah, big shout out again to Jesse for acquiring 4. So the next grade 3 I run is Calfee. So 4 Calfee is the way I decided to go. Now, the reason why I went with Calfee is because I wanted to focus on the Prison matchup as well as the Gravidia matchup. So with the Prison and Gravidia matchups, I need to be able to essentially give cards to my opponent so that they can Prison or retire. And I don't mind them retiring Calfee because generally how in the Gravidia matchup it goes is that you use your Melty to call another attacker and just attack with your 2 front rows. And then bounce it with the grade 4 and then call 2 more out. And also this hits for 25. So against the Prison matchup, if they prison this, it's like a free call out from the Prison to empty your soul, or just CB1 to call 2 of these out. And then pretty much they become 25k attackers, which is more than enough to grind through the game. So yeah, which is why I play for Calfee. And then for the grade 2s, I play 4 Melty. Melty is such an insane card. Allows you to essentially free draw into everything. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. Allows you to play friends, I guess. So that you can power up your Larissa. Larissa is just another attacker that you can run. Also, it's another good card that you can give up to your opponent if you just play front row. And then usually against the Gravidia matchup, if you play 2 front row, they can't proc the crit on the Buckle Burrito. So yeah, which is why I decided to play Calfee and Larissa, the Friends package, so that I don't need to rely on boosters. And then I run 1 Vibrant Symphony. This acts as a PG because the way I play, I control my damage well. So at any stage, this becomes a 30k shield, which is essentially a PG, right? Yeah, I just only run 1 copy because I never found the need for a 4th copy of Larissa. So having the extra defense is actually really useful in this deck. And because you draw so much into Melty, the one-off that you run of this, you'll be able to find during the game anyways. And then the next bunch of stuff that I run for grade 1s, obviously 4 PGs. I really would have liked to find another art of this, but yeah, 4 PGs is 4 PGs. And then I run 4 Eileen. So I play, this card is actually really crazy. Having an OTT Scry in Bermuda is actually ridiculous. This helps in the Magnolia matchup a lot because you can check your top deck, and then if it's a trigger, you just leave it there after your Vanguard attack. So if your opponent's Magnolia just attacks, right, you can want to break them, and then if they commit the power onto the Vanguard, then you just flip the damage trigger and then just stop all the other attacks. All the attacks are usually like 18, especially the inlets. Inlets 18, their Panthera's 19. Like the Inpix is the only real one that hits over damage trigger, and a Geonosta is like 15 unless it gets like a damage trigger. So Eileen really helps in the Magnolia matchup, and just an insane card by itself. There was one game in top 8 where I couldn't find my grade 4, and then pretty much I used this to try to dig for my grade 4. Absolutely insane card. It's pretty ridiculous. It's probably like the MVP of this deck, to be honest. And then 3 Laploom. I only run 3 because I never need the 4th one. I never need to like see it too often, because usually how it works is that you play Melty with an Eileen in one column and then just like a Calfee in the other, and then you bounce 2, call 2, and then it becomes like 25-25 with 2 more Calfees or whatever it is. But yeah, like never needed to find a 4th copy because the 1 copy that I ever have, I just keep it in hand for the time that I need it. And then this would usually call Kiora, which is the grade 2, and then becomes a 33k column on a Kairi turn. And then the next grade 1 I run is Iveta. Iveta is just a friend card. Usually this sits behind the Vanguard as a 10k booster, which then hits for 23, making it a little bit harder to guard the grade 4 later in the game. But otherwise, sometimes the 10k attacker actually matters, because you can commit this into the front row, like in front of an 8k. It swings for 18 on your opponent's, while your opponent's on grade 1. If you go second, if you go first, you can put this in front with an 8k booster. It becomes like 18, and then if you're going second, if they're on grade 2, you can put this in front of behind a Larissa, and then it becomes 20. Yeah, or this can be like pretty much behind like a Melty or anything else, or even by itself, and then it becomes 20. So you hit 20 and then your Kiora just bounces it, which is really good. And then the last card is Ducala. Ducala, I run 1 copy because it's a pseudo copy of Melty, so it's like a 5th copy. I was contemplating on running the Vampire Girl, which is a 9k grade 2, but I found that her restriction, yes, it's a little bit more lenient. She only requires 3 other rear guards to counterbalance 1 and draw, but she's a 9k, which is pretty detrimental, I think. And then also having just like grade 1 to be able to ditch on the first ride up so that I can call it back out as rest is actually quite important. Sure, this card has a lot more conditions so that you can get the draw 1, because I think you need 3 other friends, which means you have to have another column with a friend unit in it, and then a friend in front of this. So a little bit more condition onto this. It's just another flex card. This could potentially be anything that you want, either like a 4th Larissa, a 4th Laploom, even a 3rd Iveta. But I just found that just running this just gave me slightly more options if I ever need it. I think it only ever came up once. But yeah, it was just nice to have, I guess. And then the triggers, I ran 4 heal, 4 heals, 4 heals, pretty self-explanatory. 4 draws, 10k draws are just too good to not run. And then I run 5k crits. This actually matters because you can put this in front of an 8k and then it becomes like 23 if both of them were placed in the same turn. 8, so if you ditch this for your ride line and then you draw into an 8k, you can put the 8k behind this on a grade 2 turn, attack for 13, which is a 10k shield against a grade 1 8k, and then you can bounce this back to hand. So the 8k, the 5k actually matters. So, which is why I decided to run that. And it's also an Astius name if it ever matters, but that more matters if I run the Kinky grade 3. But otherwise, yeah, the 5k really, really does matter. And then this is a bit of a weird one. So I play fronts. So I value the 20k a lot. The 20k shield makes it so that I'm guarding like 28 with just one card instead of ditching two. But also, if I'm swinging for 13, sometimes my opponent is very lax on the way they guard. So they just guard like 15k for 2 to break, and then if I ever check this, it's like pretty much an auto 10k to my Vanguard. So then the next trigger that I check, right, if I check a crit, then it's just all gonna go to the Vanguard anyways. So yeah, it's just catching my opponent off guard with the fronts. But mainly the 20k shield makes this deck really good because you can draw into like all your triggers anyways. So yeah, the 20k shield really matters, but yeah, the fronts really make it so that it catches your opponent off guard if they, you know, guard very lax. And then obviously the lyrical overtrigger, this one is my favorite art. Told Jesse to add it to the deck. It's absolutely amazing artwork, and yeah, the colors are just great, and OT's an OT. Yeah, and just going through my matchups that I went through the day, I went 8-1 with this deck, only losing in the last round of the tournament as a whole, which was the 3rd and 4th place match, because at that point I was like, damn, we didn't come first, well, we didn't get to final 2, so, you know, take it lax, you know, just chill, but it was actually pretty unlucky, but I'll get to that. So the first round that I played in Sydney was a bye, so we had 41 teams and we were the one team that got the bye, so lucky us, I guess. Second round was a Bruce. I aggroed the Bruce out of existence, and pretty much the grade 4 turn was like pretty weak. And then from then on, I only played against 2 variants of decks, either a Magnolia or Gravidia World. So then 3rd round was Magnolia, 4th round was Magnolia. Both were very standard games, nothing crazy, no warping over triggers or anything like that, just a very fair game. But with Magnolia, I decided to aggro them early. So like I aggroed with like Melty, Larissa, and the Yvetta, or like the Eileen, and they just attacked 3 lines before they even get to grade 3. So yeah, that was my plan against Magnolia, and then I played Gravidia. Gravidia one is a little bit hard, so I just played Melty, and then Melty into Calfee, and then bounced it with the grade 3 Kairi, and then once I got to grade 4 Kairi, did the same, give them 2 rear guards, and then pretty much once they run out of meteors or run out of resources, then I start playing my boosters, which is like Eileen and Laploom, and then when I call the Laploom, I can call Kiora. That was my game plan against Gravidia Worlds. So pretty much after the 2 Magnolia in Swiss, I played 2 Gravidia Worlds and won both. So by that time, we were actually first seed at 6-0 as a team, and then 6-0 as a personal score as well. And then going into top 8, I played Magnolia. That was the game where both of us sat on grade 3. So he sat on grade 3 Magnolia, and I sat on grade 3 Kairi. And all I did was just put 2 Calfee's front row with 2 Eileens, and then an Yvetta, and pretty much I hit for like 28, 20, 28, and it just kept checking top for my grade 4, and I couldn't find it. And then pretty much he rode to grade 4, and then I found my grade 4, and then I rode it the turn after. But yeah, like his hand was very little, and I think it got very close to deck out, but I card counted his hand based on what he drove checked, and then pretty much beat him that way. So yeah, that was a really, really close match. And then top 4 was Gravidia World. I think if I'm not mistaken, that was the team that came second. I beat him just, you know, grinding out the game with like 2 front rows, make him use all of his meteors and have no way to recur them, or recur very little of them, and then pretty much committed a board, went to Kiora, and then yeah, that's pretty much how I won the game. And unfortunately, our team didn't win the top 4, so we played 3rd and 4th and versus the same guy that I played in the round 6. And round 6, actually I forgot, round 6 was against Nick from Toowoomba, and our game was actually insane. So he hit me for 1 damage, I 6 damage OT, then the next turn I couldn't live, and I 6 damage healed on him, and then he couldn't live, and then he 5th damage OT on me, and then stopped the turn, and then pretty much it got to 1 card in deck, and then I decked him out by 1 card, which is absolutely crazy. That was probably like the game of the weekend, I think. But yeah, I think he took it personally, So in the 3rd and 4th place match, he rode to grade 3, had 5 meteors, blasted 5 meteors, and hit front, which applied twice to his front row, and then he hit the brand gate OT, which applied twice as well. So each column was hitting 4 damage, so I ate 4, but all 4 of them were blanks, not a single heal. And then the second one I just PG'd and pretty much ran out of gas real quick. So yeah, that was an amazing few series of games. But yeah, that was pretty much my run in Sydney. I went 8-1, absolutely bonkers deck. I don't think this deck will change. Maybe Nirvana once, well, we have Festival Collection now, but once it, you know, shows itself in the metagame, I think this deck might change a bit, but otherwise, like, the way this deck operates is just phenomenal. Absolutely amazing deck. I really wish this deck had some way of control, but I think that's asking for too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my Kairi deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Yeah, just let me know your thoughts on this deck. Do give this deck a try. It is very, very fun. I do recommend this as I did with Magnolia. Magnolia is a very fun deck as well. It draws a lot, and so does this deck. So if you guys want to pick this up, feel free to do so. I don't think this will be hit on the ban list in any way. It's just a very, very fair deck. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys found this interesting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.